Chapter 1. Dawn at Home. This morning, pale sunlight filters through my linen curtains. I lie still beneath the sheets, listening to birdsong drifting in from the garden. The world feels paused, like the calm before a symphony. But today is the day. I stretch, then slowly sit up. Time to begin the journey to the airport. Our flight to Tokyo departs at 9:35 a.m. I've checked the time at least a dozen times. My suitcase sits by the door, packed and zipped, cool to the touch. I trail my fingers across its surface. This isn't just luggage, it's a key. A key to somewhere far east, across clouds and coastlines, toward Grandma's house in Toyama. I get up and dress quietly. The house is still. The kind of tranquility that only exists before dawn, or maybe just before goodbye. After brushing my teeth, I prepare a simple breakfast, warm toast with melting butter, and a generous dollop of homemade strawberry jam. "This is so yummy," I murmur, smiling. "Nothing beats this for a quick breakfast on a big day." I sit at the table, the jam glistening in the soft light, and glance over at a neatly wrapped bundle beside my bag. Inside is a small box of macarons, nestled in soft blue and white furoshiki cloth. My omiyage for Grandma. Omiyage is more than just a souvenir in Japan. It's not, "Here's a fridge magnet from Mount Fuji." No, omiyage is a deeply rooted tradition, an offering, a bridge, a way of saying, "I was thinking of you while I was away." The word itself comes from miyage, meaning local specialty, with the respectful O at the beginning, turning a gift into an act of love. In Japanese culture, bringing an omiyage is nearly mandatory after travel. It doesn't matter if your journey was for fun, business, or spiritual enlightenment, you come home with gifts, preferably ones that are regional, seasonal, and beautifully packaged. Cookies shaped like local landmarks, sweets infused with matcha from Kyoto or yuzu from Shikoku. It's an art form. My omiyage is more French than Japanese. Delicate macarons from La Belle Miette in Melbourne. The pastel colors remind me of soft clouds. It's one of Melbourne's finest indulgences, elegant, local, and just sweet enough to carry my affection. I really love them myself. I hope Grandma will enjoy them too, although I wish I had learned how to make mochi. That's Grandma's favorite. There's something soft and nostalgic about mochi, especially when it's freshly made. What if she doesn't like the macaroons? Grandma's taste is traditional, even fussier than I was about vegetables when I was 5. I pause, imagining her wrinkled hands carefully untying the cloth, inspecting them with a curious eye. Then I hear her voice in my mind. "Life is a journey of learning. No one is ever too old to learn," she always taught me. Well, now it is my turn to preach her these words of wisdom. I'll speak to her in her serious tone of voice. "Life is a journey of learning, Grandma. You are not too old to learn to love these macaroons." I'm laughing in my heart just thinking about it. And besides, I'm bringing myself too, her sweet granddaughter. Surely that will matter most. Come to think of it, I picture something even more funny. Me, as the gift. What if I wrap myself in a giant omiyage box and have it delivered to Grandma? I imagine crouching inside a huge furoshiki-covered box, ribbon and all, popping out like, "Tadaima! Surprise, Grandma!" And then I picture poor Grandma shrieking, flinging her teacup into the air, and possibly needing a warm towel and 3 days to recover. Right. Maybe not the best idea. I'll stick with the macarons and a hug. Still, I like the thought. In a way, I am the gift. A living omiyage. I've come all the way from Melbourne, carrying not just sweets, but my stories, my drawings, my chatter, my messy hair and unladylike laugh. all bundled up like a very animated, possibly noisy, care package. I remember my younger days living with Grandma. Her house was always full of rules. More often than not, I'd hear her voice behind me, equal parts disappointed and affectionate, saying things like, "Liliko, sit up straight, don't slouch like a sleepy cat. A proper Japanese lady sits in seiza." Or, at the dinner table, her tone would turn firm as she observed my chopstick technique. "Chopsticks are for picking up food, not for poking or screwing. Use them properly like an elegant young lady." Grandma once tried to teach me how to bow properly while walking. It didn't go well. I ended up headbutting her beloved potted plant and knocking it clean off the hallway table. After surveying the damage to both the plant and my pride, she decided it was best to call it off, if only to prevent further casualties among her other cherished decorations. With a sigh, she muttered to herself, "Well, not every student is meant to master algebra. Sometimes you just have to settle for the times table. It still gets you through life." Oh, did I mention Grandma was a high school math teacher? Anyway, I'm definitely not the elegant Yamato Nadeshiko she probably dreamed of. I spill miso soup just trying to lift the lid. I forget to take off my slippers before stepping onto the tatami. I laugh too loudly without covering my mouth, showing all my teeth and none of my modesty. But still, Grandma loves me. Somehow my hopelessly cheeky grin always manages to loosen the tight knot of her frown. She keeps my old sketches on the fridge like museum treasures. In one drawer, she's tucked away all my childhood trinkets, tiny plush animals, a broken music box, mismatched socks she refuses to throw away. And in her wardrobe, she's carefully folded my old summer yukata and the little sun hat I wore when I was 5, as if they were family heirlooms. So I think, even if I never master the refined grace of a proper Japanese lady, even if I still forget which side the rice bowl goes on, or which direction to lay my chopsticks on the rest, it's still enough. Because I'm her precious granddaughter, and to her, that means everything. The toast is gone, the jam jar is empty. Outside, the sky begins to pale, the very first whisper of morning. Today, I fly toward Grandma, toward tea and warm kotatsu, toward soft reprimands and bone-deep affection, with a suitcase full of clothes, a box of pastel clouds, and the most important omiyage of all, me, racked in love and slightly jet-lagged. Thank you for staying with me through my bedtime mumble. It means a lot to have a friend who quietly keeps me company. Before we end tonight's story, I wanted to share something a little sweet, literally. One of my favorite omiyage I always buy when I visit Japan is Tokyo banana. If you've never seen one before, it's a soft, fluffy sponge cake filled with creamy custard. My favorite is the caramel. It's simple, adorable, and delicious, and you'll spot it everywhere in Tokyo's gift shops, usually dressed in cute seasonal packaging. I always buy big boxes when I leave Tokyo, one for friends to share, and the other, well, those are just for me. Liliko's private stash. No sharing. Now, if you're like me, traveling from Japan back to Australia, you might wonder, can I bring Tokyo banana into Australia? The good news is, yes, you usually can, but there are a few important things to keep in mind. First, it must be commercially packaged and sealed in its original wrapping. No homemade versions, no opened boxes. Second, it shouldn't contain fresh fruit or anything perishable. Third, you must declare it on your incoming passenger card, always, even if you're confident it's allowed, Honesty is mandatory. Australia has very strict biosecurity laws to protect its unique environment, so always declare that you're carrying food and do your part to protect Australia. Most Tokyo banana are shelf-stable and contain no real banana pieces, just banana-flavored custard. So, as long as it's sealed and declared, you'll likely be able to enjoy it once you're home. Just keep in mind, final approval always depends on the officer's assessment at the airport. But generally speaking, Tokyo banana is considered safe to bring into Australia when declared properly. And trust me, opening a box of Tokyo banana after a long flight feels like unwrapping a little piece of Japan. The soft sponge, the mellow sweetness, the gentle banana scent. It makes the goodbye feel a little less sad. So yes, you can bring Tokyo banana back to Australia. Just follow the rules, and maybe save one for a quiet moment, with tea, and memories of Tokyo. I hope tonight's story brought you a little calm, a little curiosity, and maybe a craving for cake. If it did, feel free to listen again anytime you like. Let this video be a soft place you can return to, whether it's tomorrow night or the next time you need a gentle story to help you drift off. Have a sweet and restful dream. Good night.